this is Manin Rabu from Batam. I love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
I'm Sela Sadakau from Vatupula. I only listen to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Gold Vinaka, I'm Vale and I'm working at Golden Pearl Resort and I love listening to Gold FM because it plays a really wide range of classic hit music.
I'm Saini Sakio from Kashmir Wotoka. I like Gold FM, but only the classic hits.
Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Good evening, I'm Amrita Priyadarshini. This is FPC News. Tonight, a nation celebrates. The Fiji Sevens team arrives home to jubilant fans. The World Bank shows confidence in the Fijian economy. And seasonal work overseas for families in cyclone-affected parts of Fiji. The victorious Vodafone Fiji Sevens team arrived at Suva's Ratasukuna Park this afternoon, kicking off celebrations for the World Sevens Series title win. Fans gathered in numbers to be part of the event, even hours before the team arrived at Sukuna Park. Acting Prime Minister Ayaz Sayed Qayyum congratulated the team and has also asked the country to support the boys on the road to gold in the Olympic Games in August.
What this shows that all of us, everybody here today in this park, every Fijian watching this particular ceremony here on television, if we all work together, if we all work hard together, if we all focus as Fijians to take our country forward, we can even achieve gold in Rio, ladies and gentlemen. And that's what we can do. And that's what we, of course, we don't want to put too much pressure on the team, but I'm sure all our prayers and our best wishes are for them. We look forward to the announcement of the team in the coming weeks.
We now cross live to Grand Pacific Hotel in Suva, where Indra Singh is standing by live. Indra, the celebrations are far from over, it seems.
Welcome, thank you Amrita. Welcome from the GPH Hotel here in Suva, where the celebration dinner for the Vodafone Fiji Sevens team will take place. Earlier on this afternoon, the team was welcomed early this morning into Nandi, then on to Nosuri and into here at Sukuna Park in Suva, where there were thousands there to welcome the team. Joining me tonight, and I know he's been tired, he's led the team well, he's the Vodafone Fiji Sevens skipper, Osea Kolnisau. Oscar, thank you very much for joining us, but first of all, congratulations. Another series in the bag. Must be a really proud moment for you, Ben Ryan, and the boys.
Yeah, it's a proud moment and a sense of accomplishment, and very relieved that we've achieved a goal. We've set that goal that before Rio we wanted to win the series, and we wanted to go into Rio with a #1 tag, so we get momentum, and we've done that. So now we can rest for 2 weeks, and we start the prep for the major goal.
Oscar, it was a tough season, ups and downs. We saw Scotland, Samoa winning, and also together Kenya winning. So it has not been an easy series for Fiji, despite the 10-point gap we won the series by.
Yeah, it was a really tough series with a short turnaround, but compared to last season, it's a step up from the performance of the boys. I think this season we went to 5 finals. We won 3 and we lost 2, and I think 3 back-to-back finals, which shows consistency and the way the boys are learning really quickly. And the pressure, when the pressure comes on, I think we put ourselves under pressure in the last weekend when we lost to England. But one thing that I'm proud of, that when we face pressure, that the boys have risen to every occasion this season, and that is one positive we're taking out of this season when we're going to Rio.
Great crowd turnout, and the fans are always the key for the team, and you mentioned it in your speech earlier on this afternoon, is the support of the fans. So it's great to see them out there this afternoon and this morning even in Nandi.
Yeah, it's always awesome to see the fans come out in numbers, and we know that Fijian fans are the craziest fans of sevens, and it's pretty humbling and a privilege, you know, to have such fans, and to come home to have those kind of fans cheering you on gives you a boost of wanting to play for Fiji, and in a way it makes you think of who you're playing for and what you're playing for.
Just finally, Oscar, I know you were not 100% because you've played every tournament, you were fatigued, but you led as a great leader, and even Ben said, Osea needs some rest before the Rio campaign gets underway. Personally, for you, all ready to lead our campaign in Rio?
Like I said, I need, from now, my vision is just 2 weeks. I'm not looking forward to the campaign uprising, but I have that in the back of my mind, and I know I have to work really hard. When you see the caliber of the 24-man side, and it's going to be a tough time for the coach. I think it's going to be a good headache for him to choose the best role, but that's what we want. And for me personally, it's a challenge for me these 8 weeks, and I'm ready to give my all in order to obtain one of those top spots to Rio.
Naka Osea, so there you go, Vodafone Fiji 7 skipper Osea Kolinisau, great leader. He topped the tackles list as well. And it's back to you, Amrita. We'll have more in sports on the arrival of the Vodafone 7 team earlier on today.
Thanks, Indra. Now, there is no justification for any man to abuse a woman in any way or form. Prime Minister Voreqe Bainimarama made this statement while speaking at the World Humanitarian Summit Leaders Roundtable on women and girls in Istanbul, Turkey. Ali Kimbia tells us more.
Saying to the men, Prime Minister Voreqe Bainimarama has made a commitment that the Fijian government wants to put an end to a long history in which women have been treated very poorly.
I want to make it perfectly clear what my own attitude is and that of the government I lead. There is no justification, no excuse for any man to inflict violence on a woman or abuse her in any way.
The Humanitarian Summit is attended by over 100 nations, 6 initiate actions and commitments to prepare for and respond to crises and share best practices. Bainimarama says Fiji is committed to gender equality at every level and in all aspects of life.
We have established unprecedented equality for all Fijians in our constitution, including the right to be free from any form of violence. We have amended the old laws that required corroboration in cases of rape.
United Nations Deputy Secretary General Jen Ellison has acknowledged Bainimarama's speech, saying that it is reassuring to hear a head of government taking a firm stand on violence against women and children. Ali Kimbia, FBC News.
The World Bank believes all the indicators are pointing in the right direction. With its new office open in Suva, the international agency says there's a lot going right for Fiji. Ritika Pratap reports.
Fiji has been spending hundreds of millions of dollars in infrastructure development. The World Bank now wants to fund many of these projects.
I think the initial signs are this is definitely the place in the Pacific that has the highest implementation capacity from what we've been able to see, even without the World Bank and ADB. Fiji Roads Authority has already been engaged for the last couple of years in a big scale-up of their maintenance operations. So that's something we look in before we even make a loan of 50 million.
Finance Minister Ayaz Sayed Kayum says every loan is based on the ability to fully use the funding in a given time frame. Sayed Kayum adds, this is where the private sector is able to contribute.
So if you, for example, use only, as they used to use only PWD, you only have, for example, say 5 engineers that may exist in PWD. But if you go out to the private sector, there's probably 20 engineers and who are certified to be able to provide the services. So by having an engagement with a whole bigger range of people, they can look after individual projects.
The minister adds there will need to be strict supervision and oversight so that projects are built to the highest quality and don't fail within a few decades.
We are borrowing money to build. At the moment, government does not borrow money to run government. Our revenue is enough to pay for operating costs. Every single cent that we are borrowing is actually borrowed to build. So it's like the same way that example that I've used. You don't go and borrow money from the bank to buy McDonald's. You borrow money from the bank to go and build your extension to your house or build your house. That's precisely what we're doing.
The government is negotiating a World Bank loan to help pay for some of the initiatives which came in after Tropical Cyclone Winston. Ritika Pratap, FBC News. 210
people will be off to New Zealand and Australia soon as part of the Seasonal Workers Program. Minister for Employment Semi Korela Visau says candidates will be chosen from farming communities affected by TC Winston. Savara Tambua has more.
105 villages and rural communities in cyclone-affected areas will be asked to choose 2 people each to work in Australian and New Zealand farms.
We are picking 2 reps from each villages. They will be the pilot for that village. When the island reps go across, the island will also choose a leader that will take the island workers across, in the hope that they will establish a relationship, a partnership between the workers and the employers.
Minister Semi Korela Visau says if these people make a good impression, more workers could be hired from the same community. They still have to go through the same interview process conducted for other applicants.
Villagers will go through the same test that is required for a seasonal work program both in Australia and New Zealand. Our team will go there now, instead of them coming here, because for a boat fare it will cost about $100 one way. So what we have decided is that we'll take our team across to Laos. They will do the processes there, and we'll have them ready when they are, and also try and get immigration there for them to do the process for passports.
Over the next 2 weeks, affected communities in Ra and Televu North, Vanuambalavu, Lomaiviti, Rotuma and Vonolevu will be informed on what they need to do in order to secure seasonal work abroad. Sabira Tambua, FBC News.
The Fijian's Elections Office has recommended that there be a database record, the details of persons with disabilities. Supervisor Mohammed Sani made a presentation to the Standing Committee on Foreign Affairs and Defence on a bill for the rights of persons with disabilities. Alan Stoltz tells us more.
Supervisor of Election Mohammed Sanim says the creation of such a database would prove extremely useful for Fiji come the next election in 2018.
We were informed there's no such database in place. We recommend the committee to consider adopting the creation of this database, and the FEO is willing to take that up as one of its functions in the registration of voters exercise.
Sanim also highlighted that family-style voting practiced in the Pacific nations due to the communal settings can also impede the rights of disabled persons or elderly people.
This discourages individuals from being able to exercise an independent right to choose their candidate should they be assisted by a family member or friend, because there is a risk that there may be that the vote is no. Additionally, for elderly voters, this right to choose a candidate independently is diminished when it is their caregivers who are present to cast a vote for them.
Committee Chair Netani Rika says their work has been challenging.
So far so good, like I've already alluded, that we're given 30 days to produce a report, and everything is on schedule. So we're looking at delivering it next week.
22 submissions have been made to the committee since May 16th, with the Fijian Elections Office being the last. Ellen Stalls, FBC News.
The death of a worker at the bauxite mine in Vanualevu is being investigated by the Ministry of Employment. The 29-year-old labourer of Matasawa Levu Indraketi, Vanualevu is believed to have been crushed by a conveyor belt. Minister Semi Korela Visau says the team is expected to finish their investigation by the end of this week. Coming up on FBC News, Yangona and Dalo in the north in need of rehabilitation. A new look recreation park to open in Lami next month. Stay with us.
FM rocks. My name is Denasa and I'm from Lutoka and I love listening to Today FM.
My name is Ulamila. I work at Golden Point Resort. I love listening to Today FM. It rocks in Rakiraki.
I'm Mary from Mandera. I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks. We love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
Today's hit music on Today FM.
Welcome back to FBC News. The Yangona and Dalo industries in the north urgently need rehabilitation. Eleanor Turangai View says the two critical agriculture commodities suffered severely during TC Winston.
Taviuni, well known for its ndalo production, contributes to about 70% of export earnings in a year through the export of Tausala. Principal Agriculture Officer North Paula Tuyone says the Garden Island is struggling to get the industry back to its feet following the devastation caused by Tropical Cyclone Winston early this year.
Ndalo, it normally takes 9 months to mature. So we're looking at to do the rehabilitation through nurseries, setting up of nurseries and other kind of activities that will boost within the first 9 months before maturity.
Another industry that is also suffering is Yangona, with current prices already hiking. It will take at least 3 years to revive the industry, and government is providing whatever assistance it can to fast-track this time frame. Tuyone says they've requested for over $100,000 to help them in the rehabilitation process.
The government will provide rehabilitation materials within this year, and they'll be like continuous again in the new financial year from August to July next year.
The damage to the Ndalo and Yangona industry in Vono level makes up about 60% of the total damage to the whole agriculture sector in the Northern Division, making it the most critical area for the agriculture sector to work on. Eleanor Turangaiwiu, FBC News.
More than 50 women who have had breast cancer surgeries have been fitted with prosthetic breasts and bras at the CWM Wellness Centre. The prosthetic breasts and bras have been donated by an Australian-based non-government organisation fitting service for women with breast cancer. According to the statistics provided by the CWM Hospital Oncology and Radiation Unit, 173 women were diagnosed with breast cancer last year. The coordinator for the Fijian Women's Breast Cancer Project, Lily DeSantis, says they have donated more than 100 prosthetic breasts and bras.
When a woman loses a breast, it's a very traumatic experience, physically, emotionally, and to their confidence as well. But from a health perspective, having the breast replaced is really important because it rebalances the body. They don't experience as much pain, and of course their self-esteem is much higher because they look beautiful again in their clothes, and it's very important for women's self-esteem, health and confidence.
The team was in Lambasa today. Fijian soldiers in the British Army have donated more than $43,000 to the Fiji Red Cross Society to assist in the response to Tropical Cyclone Winston. British High Commissioner Roderick Drummond presented the cheque today to FRCS General Director Felipe Nainoda. He says the donation was made from people in the United Kingdom, Germany and Cyprus.
A whole variety of different organisations in the UK have been raising funds in different ways to play their part and contribute to the relief efforts after Winston, including those in the British Army. They and their friends, the wider community of people who are interested in Fiji and touched by Fiji, have done different fundraising events in different army units to make a contribution to the Fiji Red Cross.
Millions of dollars have been pledged by international organizations and government to help with relief efforts. The 10-year dream of the Lami Town Council is soon to come true as the refurbished Tikaram Park nears completion. The Town Council Special Administrator Jasper Singh says extreme weather conditions were a major challenge during construction. Senya Nimboila has more.
Residents of Lami can now look forward to state-of-the-art recreational and sports facilities expected to be open next month.
The park actually is in 3 parts. The first part on the extreme left will be like a kids play area and just a volleyball court. And in the center of the park is the actual podium. And on the extreme right hand side is the senior citizens park where our aged and the senior citizens can go there and relax, enjoy the comfort of a barbecue area and a green environment. And so it caters for the youth right up to the aged and the elderly.
The $500,000 plus project will also include a viewing tower, free Wi-Fi and an outdoor screen. However, Singh says recent extreme weather conditions delayed them in completing the project.
Progress has been good. We was kind of set back because of the 2 cyclones and the extreme wet weather we had. We didn't expect that, but my last conversation with the contractors, we are about a month behind schedule.
Singh also commended the government for $583,000 in assistance used to build the facility. Sanyani Mboila, FBC News.
We turn to sports now. Here's Jamie with the latest.
Thanks, Amrita, and good evening. Up ahead in sports, thousands of fans joined to celebrate series title win. And basketball, Fiji launches dual netball and basketball hoops for Nasinu. This and more coming up.
Tunisia tugotua, aongonia saurara, aundo wulwul tagitunga na TV ni na market e tawa. Aundo talitanga na waronga na Bula FM number 2 na sia.
Pula mana viti, nada ko plasio mataire, ngon mai na na bulo tabiuni, au satu ko nanti, ando talita ina warongo na Bula FM.
Bula FM number 2 en seri.
The Vodafone Fiji Sevens team received the hero's welcome at the Nausori airport, with some fans having waited hours. The players were weary from all the travelling, but they didn't disappoint the crowd of people who are all eager to congratulate their sporting heroes. Talen Dadakadaka has more.
Fiji flags, white jerseys and vehicles decorated in national colours. This is what greeted the Fiji team at the Nausori airport. Also part of the welcoming committee were National Sevens players who didn't compete in the Paris and London Sevens.
Just like last year, a humbling experience, especially to be met by the members of the public at Nandi, and to get across to Nausori and have the same reception.
This was a fitting reunion among players who've just returned from the last leg of the series and those who didn't make the cut. Every one of these players has played a part in retaining the title.
Winning the cup is also includes the rest of the players that have taken a part, starting from November in Dubai and now ending in May in London. And you take into account all the players that has been part of the series. And it's good that we got some of them here on the bus with us to be met at Nausori, and we're traveling to Suva.
The team resumes camp early next month. Coach Ben Ryan will monitor the progress of players who've returned to their clubs in Europe, as well as those playing for the Flying Fijians in the Pacific Nations Cup.
It'll be a week and a half break for them before they start again, and it'll be really tough. We've got 24 coming into camp, and there's only 12 spots. So, yeah, we want to take the best team. It's free of injury, and at peak fitness of 100%.
As the bus traveled towards Suva, fans lined the highway paying tribute to the team. As the bus got closer to Ratusukuna Park, the crowds thickened, hundreds of people waiting for their heroes.
Ratusukuna Park, welcome to our world champions, the Vodafone Fiji Sevens team.
Talento Kavaka, FBC Sports.
And earlier in the day, the Fiji Sevens team was greeted by family and fans at Nandi International. The airport was packed with supporters when the team arrived from London with the Sevens World Series trophy. The players received a warm welcome and took time out to meet fans and take photographs. Meanwhile, the Telecom Fijiana side is confident of finishing on a high note at the France Sevens tournament this weekend. New caps Ebony Satala and Asena Rocco will get their baptism of fire when filling in for injured Lichana Naingata, Lavinia Tinai and Timaima Tavisa. Skipper Ana Maria Rungida and experienced team members Brittany Coates, Rusila Nangasau and Rebecca Tavo will play key roles at the tournament. The side is pooled with series leaders Australia, France and Ireland.
Pride in playing for each other, pride in playing for the nation. You get the opportunity to come to Fiji and you'll see exactly what they mean and what they talk about, and anybody that goes there is certainly blown away by how much rugby means to the nation. These girls, they've certainly got opportunity over the next 3 or 4 months to to be up there with the superstars that are in the men's team.
The Fijianas currently sit in 8th position on the Women's World Series point standings. Basketball Fiji launched its dual netball and basketball hoops at the Nasinu multipurpose courts today. Acting Australian High Commissioner Karinda Dialosio, while launching the edition, said the Australian government prioritises sports like basketball to promote development and build better health. With a basketball court set up at the Nasinu multipurpose courts, players in the area do not have to travel to Suva for training or games. Basketball Fiji has been working hard with its partners to provide new equipment that will help promote the sport. That's it from sports this evening. It's back to Amrita now with business.
Our trade deficit is likely to widen this year, mainly due to higher imports. Reserve Bank Governor Barry Whiteside says imports of machinery and transport, food and manufactured goods are high. At the same time, exports are expected to fall, especially in the agro-based sector due to TC Winston. Whiteside says the decline in exports by 1.4% largely reflects lower exports of sugar, molasses, fruits and vegetables. Imports will grow by 8.5% due to the demand for reconstruction of housing and infrastructural amenities, as well as to meet domestic food shortages following Cyclone Winston. And the RBF has revised the economic growth this year to 2.4%. Another fine day across Fiji with temperatures at little cooler than usual today. Lamasa was the warmest centre in the country at 32 degrees, Savu the coolest, reaching only 28. Tomorrow should be much the same as today, but there is a small chance of overnight or early morning showers in Suva and Savu. Well, the same good weather is expected to continue right into the weekend. At sea, light winds and moderate swells. You've been watching FBC News. I'm Amrita Priyadarshini. Good evening.
आपको खरगंगा के रंजिला का नमस्कार। रेडियो फिजी की सुंदर सुंदर यादों का खजाना एकदम बचपन के दिन याद करा देते हैं।
हमारा नाम जोनी नायडू है, हम रहता है मलोलो में और हम टैक्सी ड्राइवर है। हम सब टाइम अपन टैक्सी में रेडियो फिजी 2 सुनता प्रोग्राम।
हम सिंगाचोका के हैं, हमारा नाम है रोजी। हम लोग यहाँ पे रेडियो फिजी 2 सुनता है।
राम राम, मैं रेमस प्रसाद बोलता हूँ, तब वता में कोई रहता हूँ। मैं जब भी सुना रेडियो फिजी 2 ही सुनता हूँ।
रेडियो फिजी 2 देश की धड़कन।